I think Petey Pablo should be the next owner of the Carolina Panthers. One reason being that he's from the area. He was born and raised in Greenville, North Carolina. And he also made one of the greatest songs in American history, Raise Up, which instructed people to take off their t-shirts and wave them around like a helicopter. And then he made a remix sometime later that shouted out the entire country and not just North Carolina. He included South Carolina, New York, Atlanta. And then this was a few months before September 11th, and he changed the lyrics to USA instead of North Carolina, and it kind of became a sort of new national anthem for the United States. If Raise Up was a national anthem instead of the Star Spangled Banner, Colin Kaepernick would have never kneeled for the anthem last summer.
So would you go so far as to say that you think Petey Pablo could be a symbol of unity in what is a sharply divided NFL?
Ironically enough, Petey Pablo's real name is Moses, and while that denotes divisiveness, he's actually one of the more unifying forces in America. He's appeared in American classics such as Goodies and Drumline, and he's also shown a deep respect for his female fans, such as Shamika, Keisha, Tara, and Monique. You know Monique hasn't watched the NFL since Kaepernick was blackballed last year.
We return with Pay That Man, the segment where we focus on the brokest professional athletes, the college ones. For this episode, we're going to go back to 2014 when Dabo Swinney said, "As far as paying players, professionalizing college athletics, that's where you lose me. I'll go do something else because there's enough entitlement in the world as it is." Dabo, come on, you ain't gonna do nothing else. I got 31.75 million reasons why you're not gonna do nothing else. Not never. That's not just an arbitrary number, that's the value of the contract Dabo signed in April of 2016. Since then, he's gone 26-2, won a national championship, and quite possibly could win another. So I'm pretty sure all those players deserve to be compensated, but we're gonna focus on just 3. Run the highlights. This is Kelly Bryant, Clemson's starting quarterback. He does it all for this team. He runs, he passes, he wins, but he don't get paid. And if I had to put money on it, I'd say Kelly Bryant would be back for another year to lead Clemson to their 4th straight appearance in the college football playoffs. So pay that man. Next up, we got Clelin Ferrell, all 6'5", 260 pounds of him. He was the defensive MVP of last year's Fiesta Bowl. This year, he's the sack leader on the best defensive line in the country and projected to go in the 1st round of the NFL draft. Just got to survive a couple more games. Actually, maybe just sit out the games. So, say it with me now. Pay that man. Last but certainly not least, it's Do Everything linebacker Dorian O'Daniel. Dorian is a Sports Illustrated first-team All-American. He's probably the most versatile player on the team, maybe even in the country. An ACC coach was quoted as saying he's the team's MVP. He's been a Dabo employee for 5 seasons now. So it's about time. Pay that man. Okay, so maybe it was a little unfair of us to dig up a quote from Dabo Swinney in 2014. Maybe his thinking has evolved since he signed a $31.75 million contract, or he earned $1.4 million in bonuses from the playoffs last season. Someone should ask him, do his players deserve to be compensated fairly, or is he the only one that deserves to get rich? One time at training camp, my teammate pooped himself. So the first day of training camp, we have to run a conditioning test. Before anyone's allowed to go out and put pads on in practice, the coaches want to know that we're in shape. So we had to run 6 300-yard shuttles. It's not easy, it's a tough test, but if you've been working out all summer, you should be able to finish it. This teammate was a bigger guy, defensive lineman, who clearly hadn't been working out all summer. So he got dehydrated early on. There are plenty of things that can go wrong if you get dehydrated. You could have dizziness, fainting, you could have a whole slew of issues. But this particular guy had the worst side effect of dehydration of them all, the mud butt. So he started pooping on himself early in the test. But he's a trooper. You know, as football players, we won't let a little thing like a little incontinence slow us down. We kept running the test and finished the whole thing. But we all had to survive watching and smelling him with poop running down his leg for the entire test. However, there was still the undignified march, or it was actually more like an undignified waddle. Either way, it was an embarrassing day, but he finished the test.